The damn Steelers are 3-0. I don't get it. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of them just figuring out ways to win. You guys have talked about the culture there, and apparently Justin Fields just has to do enough, not make any critical mistakes. The defense is going to show up, and they're probably going to get a team that's either got a banged-up quarterback or somebody that is currently struggling. They've got Indianapolis
Justin Fields
next
improved.
week.
He improved this week. So there's an improvement that you're seeing. The correlate, he's trending up. There, you saw more confidence in how he played. So to think that we talked about ceilings and floors earlier, with certain quarterbacks, you're looking at what the situation is for Justin Fields. I'm not sure we know exactly what his ceiling is. Maybe we have gotten glimpses of what his floor, may be. I'm not exactly sure where he is right this moment, but the one thing that I said when we were watching them in the preseason and there were all the conversations about the two quarterbacks and what direction they go in and how they looked, I think it ultimately came down to when you're not playing your starters, you're not going to get a realistic look at what this team looks like, right? And I think the conversation was, as soon as you see them animals come off of that sideline on defense and they go in, they're going to make it a easier situation for their offense. That's generally been the DNA of Pittsburgh Steelers teams, is that they're going to play hellified defense, and all the offense has to do is grind it out, not make any major mistakes, live within the parameters of what that represents. Don't do anything to hurt the team or lose the games. Justin Fields has done that throughout the first few games, but this last game, I know you would know better than I would, Q, as a QB and how you break things down, but I thought there was a tremendous amount of growth or confidence in how he looked, handling and navigating the offense this week in particular. That's why I say.
Yeah, he improved. I mean, he feels more comfortable in the offense. He was more efficient in the passing game. This was the first game, too, I feel like they kind of allowed him to chuck the ball around a little bit more as well. Now, we always got to take things with a grain of salt. Justin Herbert wasn't able to finish this game. They were pretty banged up for the Chargers. That being said, look, the Steelers lost Troy Fautanu, the right tackle looks like for the rest of the season. So that's going to be a big miss. Maybe he returns back for the playoffs if this is a playoff team. But the NFL is a game of matchups, really football in general. But the NFL specifically, when you looked at, what the Chargers have tried to do this year under Harbaugh is about running the football. All right, Steelers shut down the run. There's the first step. The next step is being able to run the football. They did that effectively with Najee and Cordero Patterson and Fields even playing a small role. So there's that element of it. And then you build on that with, what Justin Fields is able to do now within this offense, being his third start in an Arthur Smith system where he's got a decent amount of reps now, still a younger player in this league who's continuing to grow. And I think they see the upside here. So I'm happy for Justin Fields. Like, I think this was one of those stories where you go back to last year talking about the Chicago Bears. I was hoping the Bears were going to keep him. And I'll go as far as saying I think the Bears would be in a better spot right now if they did keep him. So take that whatever way you want, but the reality is they had a veteran player who they drafted, they had in-house, who'd been through a lot of adversity, but was developing into the quarterback I think they were hoping he would be, and instead they trade him away. And he ends up moving on. And so now you find him with the Steelers, and he's got this opportunity here. So I'm rooting for him. I hope it all works out. And this is just another classic example of Mike Tomlin, man. Like, he never gets enough due for how good of a coach he is. Doesn't matter the circumstances. Mike Tomlin will find a way of winning football games. And again, a little easier when you don't have to play Justin Herbert for 4 quarters. That being said, you got to give all credit to Pittsburgh. They're 3-0 right now. We did not think that was going to be the case coming into the season. And I think it also speaks a little bit to the AFC North. I guess with the exception of Cleveland, how they've looked so far, you would say this division is still one of the best in the NFL. As we watch, Baltimore control that game, go down there. We'll see what Cincinnati has in store tonight. But it's one of the best divisions in the NFL for a reason.
You mentioned Justin Fields. He spoke afterwards. Let's take a listen.
I'm not really worried about that. I'm more so into proving, myself, right. I know, what kind of player I am. I haven't changed kind of my whole life. So at the end of the day, my teammates helped me be great. So shout out to them. Shout out to our defense. Shout out to everybody else on the offense for pushing me each and every day at practice. And, it's just a credit to them. So I'm definitely, glad and just feeling good to be in this position, to be honest with you.
So they've got Indianapolis this week.
That'll be a good test for them.
I mean, Indianapolis isn't very good. It'll
be a good test for
them. Well, I mean, that defense is going to have a field day with Anthony Richardson. But if they're 4-0,
now they're going to have a field day. Now you jumping on the train?
What do you mean?
You jumping on the Steeler train?
I can jump on whatever train I want.
You sure can.
Choo choo.
Blue chew.
If they're 4-0,
yep.
When does Tomlin just say, all right, Justin Fields is our starting quarterback?
I don't think he has to say it. There doesn't have to come a moment in time at the point we're at now where Tomlin has to come out and say, yep, it's Justin Fields' team, and that's what we're going with. The more he plays, the more they win. That question is already, it's like it becomes a rhetorical question, right? It's not. The answer is already there. How do you say, yeah, we're 4-0, Russ is ready to come back now, so we're going to put Russ in after being 4-0. We're 5-0, we're 6-0, Russ is ready to come back. In fact, I feel like it's the total opposite. The further out they get and the more they win, I think the less you're going to even hear about Russell Wilson's name unless Justin plays so poorly and goes so far off the rails, which you got to believe he's totally aware of that because he had already been put in a position where Russell Wilson was named the starter. He gets the starting job by de facto injury. If you don't think for 2 seconds that the confidence that we probably saw in this last game was him getting a little bit more in tune with the fact that, okay, I can do this, and if I continue to do this, it's my job to lose, not his job to come back and get.
Right.
Yeah, so that's how I look at it. I don't think he even has to announce it.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now you'd be probably want to say, like, Fields has the goodies. I mean, the way he's playing, like his 1-2 step, all that, he's leveled up. And I bet that he's going to remain in there, until, there's a step back there in some way. But this is how we roll.
By the way, that Russell
he's
Wilson,
playing like a man, not like a boy.
Like the calf issue, like that was 2 months ago, and still a problem. Like what happened?
I keep trying to tell you, man. It has to be more serious too than they're leading on to tell us.
Well, hey, good for Justin Fields.
And whether it is or whether it isn't, it's interesting. What is Russell Wilson listed as on the depth chart right now? Is he second or third?
I don't think he was active.
He's not even active. I would not.
Again, but
I'll say this: if that is indeed the case, I wouldn't be shocked if he stays inactive. If things keep going the way that they're going, if you continue to think about the fact that what they got these quarterbacks for, the value that they got these guys for, there is absolutely zero pressure to have any type of marriage or accountability for if he plays or not. You spent this amount of money, he had better play. Like, you're not in that situation right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Fields continues to play like this. I wouldn't be surprised if they deactivated Russell Wilson, until further notice. Why would you activate him outside of any type of anything crazy?
Surgery. Like, why wouldn't you just go get surgery,
get it? Yeah, go get it. Because you ain't getting that job back, bro. Go get it. Go get the surgery done. What are you waiting on? Because at the moment you go in there, now the amount of pressure will mount on Russell Wilson Now he has to come in, and if he comes in under any circumstances, one loss with Justin Fields, this team's 3-1. This team is 4-1. This team is 5-1. You bring Russell Wilson in. Well, Justin Fields still was the quarterback for this team when they got those wins that they got. So what happens if Russell Wilson loses that first game or doesn't play right? You got to, as a coach, you got to think about what does that do to the dynamic and the chemistry of this team. What are you risking if you put Russell back in there? What are you compromising if you put Russ back in there? I think that this is a bigger topic than just saying we got Russ, we're going to put him back in there. I think that there's a bigger conversation here. This team knows that their success goes through the play of TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Minka, and the rest of that defense, and our offense needs to manage and protect the ball and not put us in bad situations, and we'll come out on top and more often than not in our games.
And based on the schedule thus far, they're going to get every break possible when it comes to injuries. So there's that too. They're that team this year.